I almost forgot. It's March 2nd, 2018, Texas Independence Day. It's a celebration of the adoption of the Texas Declaration of Independence on March 2nd, 1836. With this document signed by 59 delegates, settlers in Mexican Texas officially declared independence from Mexico and created the Republic of Texas. And some of my ancestors are on that baby. So we see the continued march on from people wanting to live under freedom. And you can look at Texas and say, well, is it true freedom? Well, compare it to Mexico. With the wealth and the freedom and the prosperity and the science and the technology, you can see that there was a lot more freedom here. And a lot bigger step away from colonialism and to independence. But the left teaches that Texas and all these other areas belong to Mexico, when there's a reason there's been 6 flags over Texas. That's because it was a war zone that no one could keep until the Scottish and Irish, mainly, settlers, and then German and English came in. They were the ones out of Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia, that came in at the behest of the Mexican government to fight the Comanche. There was no Mexican government past areas of South Texas and Galveston and out into West Texas and places like San Antonio and South Texas. There were Spanish missions that were armed forts, and that was it. And the only reason Anglo settlers were let in by the Anglo rulers of Mexico was to kill the Comanche. And that's a fact. And kill the Comanche we did. And also intermarry with them, as some of my ancestors did. But you never hear anybody say they're a Comanche, because everybody that was a Comanche changed their name to another tribe. Because if you told somebody you were a Comanche, even until the 1920s, they'd try to kill you. There's a lot of folks, had their mama and their daddy killed by them. They remembered it. And they've got these images of these sweet, loving people. And it was far, far different. The Comanche, terrorized all the other Native Americans and had them all scared and took over basically much of the Midwest, all the way up to Illinois, right down through Oklahoma into South Texas, because they tortured and killed basically everybody they came across. They were the ones that would cut the eyelids off and bury it in an ant bed. And then the Apaches, which were a sweet lot compared to the Comanche, but were out in areas the Comanches didn't want, desert, starting in West Texas out into Arizona. They had a few of the Comanche tactics. And, of course, there was another loving group called the Karankawa, who were down on the Texas coast, as we know it today. And they were cannibals. And quite a few Spanish letters went back about, the people going on shore to get water and being eaten. So let's just really be honest about what was going on around here. Let's be honest. There were people that ate their enemies, and that wasn't the only tribe that did that. And there were people that killed everybody but young women and children. And so that's why they were wiped out. And that's why groups affiliated with them got marched off to be killed. And I'm not saying that was a good thing. I'm saying people need to understand the reality of what went on in this country and how it was carved out and what was done. Like Mexico claims California. California, the Russians claimed for a while. So did the Spanish. It goes on, ladies and gentlemen. And that's a fact. They don't teach in colleges what you just heard. They teach evil white people came down here because they wanted to continue slavery, even though, again, less than 2% had slaves. And that Mexico was this wonderful free place. Oh, is that why Santa Anna lost Guatemala as well and other states of Mexico? No, he was a tyrant. Now, we're going to go to break here in a few minutes, and I'm going to get focused, but I want to do a little bit of Texas Independence Day here.